Welcome back to the BBB Summit. I'm your host, Julie C. Butler, and we have the beautiful Faith Mariah. Hi, Faith.
Hi, Julie. Thanks so much for having me. I'm so excited about the whole event and everything.
You're welcome. You're welcome. It's my honor to have you. I know I just participated.
No, it's my pleasure. So I'm honored.
I know. I just participated in your bundle. It was a bundle, right? Or is it a summit?
We're doing all kinds of things all the time.
I know.
So who knows?
We were just chatting about all the things you're doing, and it's crazy, but it's just so much fun, and we just love what we do so much. And growing in the world of growing our email lists and growing our businesses and different things we're doing. So it's a lot of fun and so great to have you. But I'd love for you to share a little bit about yourself before we get going.
Sure. My name is Faith Mariah. I originally started as a mental health blogger. I scaled that blog to full-time income. I had a list of over 40,000 people and grew it to over 130,000 page views a month. And I ended up selling that. And now I help online business owners get to six figures without the drama. My original background is in social work. And I'm a certified life and weight loss coach. And so I have a lot of practical business strategy things that I teach people about funnels and getting page views and growing email lists that I teach from having my first business, my blog that I had. And I have a ton of mindset experience. And what I found when I was teaching the marketing strategy is a lot of women have stuff like imposter syndrome and not feeling good enough and not feeling able to make decisions in their business. And I coach on the mindset part and the business strategy part in my Becoming Boss Mastermind. So that's what I do.
I love it. Plus you're in sunny, no, I was not sunny. Is sunny Florida? Florida sunny? What do we call Florida? Sunny Florida? No, that's California.
I don't know. Sometimes I just feel like it's a mess down here, but it is beautiful, sunny Florida.
Oh, well, whatever. You don't have snow.
That's true. We don't have snow. I don't think I could handle it up. I don't think I would be able to, it's funny because I'm always like, I've got to move out of here. Like, I feel like when you grow up somewhere, it's like, oh, I've got to move out of here. But I'm like, where am I going to go? I'm like, I can't go up north. I've lived in Florida my whole life. Like, I feel like I would die if I had to do a real winter.
I don't know. We're moving to Costa Rica in the summer. So come there.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah. Awesome. But that's not why we're here. So we are here to talk about easy to sell products and creating products that people love to buy. So I'm excited to talk about that and dive into that more because at the end of the day, we want people to buy our stuff, right? So
yeah.
Okay. So let's start. How much time should you dedicate to coming up with an idea that's easy to sell?
This is one of my favorite things to talk about, right? And I think a lot of people go through this stuff, especially when they start a business of like, I don't want to be salesy and I feel weird when people buy. And what I really try to coach clients on is like, let's create a product that's going to be a win for you and a win for them. So it's a win for you in that it's not going to take all of your time and energy and like be this whole huge burden, right? And it feels like you're fairly compensated for your work and you love making it. And it's a win for them to buy, meaning they get something they really like. And I always think about, like, I just joined a ADHD coaching program because I was diagnosed with ADHD. And I found this like amazing coach and she's totally changing my life and how I do everything in my business. And I pay her a certain amount of money every month to be in that program. Right. And I just think like, if she were to close it, it'd be like, there's no more ADHD coaching program. We're closing it down. And I was no longer able to pay her. I would be so bummed, right? It's like, I want to give her that money. Like I want to pay her the money for the service that she's giving me. And so I really try to get people to think about a buyer experience like that, creating a buyer experience for your people, where if you were like, hey, we're taking this product away, like you guys actually can't pay for it anymore. You can't buy it anymore. People would be upset. They'd be like, no. And that to me is the difference between a product that you have to convince people all the time and you're trying to sell it and it takes a higher level of marketing skill. I'm always like, if you're good at sales, you can sell anything. Let's be real, right? But most of us aren't good at sales. Most of us are not marketers, right? Most of us really love what we do and we love our customers, but we're not like salespeople. We don't necessarily have tons of sales training and marketing training, right? And so if you're someone that doesn't have a lot of marketing experience, I think a great place to start is thinking about creating a product people love to buy. And the way, as far as like how long to spend doing that and how to do that, I would start with like, what is a problem they have that they want to pay to fix? So it has to be people that have money. People hate this part of it. So many people I coach will be like, my people don't have any money. And I'll be like, if you want to have a business, I would pick a different customer. Just like, I can't help you.
Oh my God. No, but I've never heard this before. And that makes so much sense. Pick a different customer.
Yeah. I'm like, pick a different customer, right? It's like, they either have to have some money, but if they really have no money, it's like, I would not make a business selling to people that don't have money. And I would not make a business selling a product that they don't want to pay to fix, right? It's
but
like,
sometimes we think they don't have money, right?
Well,
like when you agree that sometimes
we don't usually know if they have money or not.
No.
Right? We just think, we like to think like, oh, they don't have any money. And I think I'm trying to think of a nice way to say this. I'm a very straight shooter coach, so nobody get mad at me, okay? I always get scared when I go in front of other people.
Is good.
We talk about this in my community. We're like, it's just, that's like a lazy way of thinking about it. And our brains like to be lazy, right? Because they want to conserve energy. So I'm not talking about like lazy, like you're a bad person and you're lazy. It's just like we always say like our brains are kind of like big lazy house cats in my community.
Yeah.
Because it's like our brains want to conserve energy for survival, right? And so our brains are lazy and they'll be like, well, if they don't have any money, what do you get out of doing then? If your customers don't have any money, you don't have to problem solve your marketing. You don't have to look at your positioning. You don't have to look at your launching. You don't have to fix your sales process. You don't have to do anything. If they don't have any money, you just get to complain to everybody about how people don't have any money and they won't buy your thing. And it's like, well, that's not actually useful to you as a business owner. A more useful way is like, some people do have some money and they want to pay to fix this problem. And assuming that's true, that there's people in my audience right now that have some money and they want to spend it to fix this problem, then what do we need to try with our marketing? What can we test? What we're doing isn't working. Let's find something else to test. And so a lot of times our brains love to go to the thing of like, nobody can afford it. It's too expensive. They don't have any money. And it's like, of course it's going to do that, right? Because it's trying to conserve energy. And then if it gets you to think that, it doesn't have to do any of the harder thinking problem.
The hard work. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. And it's true. It's important. And that all goes back to mindset, right? Like we really need to nip that, like, I think, well, we need to nip it in the butt, but I think also it's like that whole mindset piece is like, you need to start doing it now. If you're not doing it, stop everything you're doing and go back. Mindset work all the way through, right?
Yeah, totally. I think the business strategy is very simple. Like I can tell you how to have a business in a pretty short amount of time. I've coached hundreds of people literally on this stuff. And the strategy is very simple, right? It's like, you've got to have something great to sell. You've got to have people that know who you are, right? You've got to sell it to enough people. That's about it. It's not complicated, right? But when our mindset isn't right and we're like, what if I'm not good enough? They don't have any money and I don't know about this. And so stuff is so much better than mine and all this stuff. It's like, we can't see solutions, right? And so we lose track of the simplicity and then we're just kind of bouncing around in all of our drama, which is interesting too, because I'll talk to so many entrepreneurs that are telling me, you know, Faith, I'm working so hard and it's so hard and it's so hard. And I'm like, why is your business so hard? I'm like, what are you doing? Like, and when I look at their output, they're not actually outputting that much. It's because they're thinking all the time, all these dramatic, painful thoughts, and it's exhausting and they feel tired because of how they're thinking, because they're leaking their energy all day, being confused. Should I do this? Should I do that? Should I do this? People love to be confused about their products. Y'all listen to me, pick a product and pick a price. Like, don't spend all your time like, should it be this? Should it be that? Should it be this name or that name? Let me spend 6 months thinking about the name and the price and the thing. And like, it's like, just make it as quick as possible. Make your decisions fast, test them and adjust. And that's always my best advice for entrepreneurs developing products. It's like, just test it, get the data. Your brain's gonna be like, what if it doesn't work? I don't know if it's gonna work. You're gonna be like, yeah, brain, like, I don't know if it's gonna work. That's why we're gonna test it and get some data. And then we'll go from there and we'll see.
Data is our best friend.
Yeah, data is our yeah, not your
For
thoughts
real.
about what you think people will buy. Like, don't spend your time thinking about what they're gonna buy. It's like, go get the data about what they buy from you.
Yeah.
Like, that's a much
And,
better place to spend your time.
And then permission to stop overthinking everything. Just do it. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. One of the most common like thought errors I coach people on is this idea that if they spend a long time making a decision and they think about it and they think about it and they think about it, that will make their decision better quality. And what I coach people to do is like, you make the decision fast on the front end, meaning you look at the options and you decide which one you're going to do. And then you spend all your time on the back end of the decision instead of on the front end. Should I do this? Should I do that? Should I do this? Should I do that? Researching, where everybody spends time on the front end. You shorten that. And then you spend your time on the back end thinking about why you love your choice. So you don't get to make a decision and then think, oh my God, what if it was this? Or, oh my God, I shouldn't have done that. Or, oh, it should have been this. It's like you actively decide ahead of time that you're going to make the decision. And then you're going to actively think thoughts about why you like that choice. And in my community, we don't remake decisions. You make it one time, and then you line your thoughts up with why you like that choice, and you actively sell yourself on that decision. So you spend more time on the back end of the choice, but you learn to become someone that can make decisions in less time. And if you commit to managing your thoughts on the back end, you don't have to worry about making the wrong choice, right? Because
I love it.
You decide ahead of time, you're gonna be like, you know what, no matter what happens, I'm gonna be proud that I made this decision. I'm gonna be proud of myself for trying something. And you don't have to worry about like, what if it doesn't work? Usually for most beginner entrepreneurs, the worst outcome is you have the result you have now. So if you make a product and nobody buys it, the worst thing that happens is you have the result that you already have.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the worst thing that you're risking. You're not usually
Exactly.
You don't have payroll. You don't have payroll. You're risking like not paying employees and laying people off and like losing your house. Like, you guys got to remember when you're starting, like, the risks are very low for what most things are in business, right?
I think also letting go attachment of the outcome is super like an important part of it too, right? Like that, knowing that I'm okay if it does, I'm okay if it doesn't.
Yeah, you still can be proud of yourself even if you have a $0 launch, right? And so we have a whole process. I don't know if I can swear at your summit, so I'll just say it's we call it a half butt launch.
You can say it.
A half booty launch.
a half beep launch.
Yeah. You do your first launch and I'm like, your first launch should be bad. I'm like, it's not supposed to be good. I'm like, and most people are so scared of doing their first launch. They're like, what if no one buys and it's not good and no one gets my thing? And I'm like, yeah, I'm like, you should just do your first one and get it done. And then you're going to have your emails done for next time. Your sales page is going to be done. You're going to have more practice and we're going to run that sucker again. And I'm like, we're just going to keep running it until we get it to work. But I'm like, but I need you to get the first one as like the Band-Aid ripoff, right? So it's like, I'm like, your first launch should not be good. It should be bad. I'm like, right? So it's like, I'm like, you got to get in the game. To me, it's like, I can help you if you're in the game, but if you're not even in the game, it's like, I cannot help you make sales.
Yeah. And most people don't get it right out of the gate.
No, most entrepreneurs are like ridden by paths of failure. I know most entrepreneurs I know, like I have a multiple six-figure business. I know a lot of entrepreneurs that are around that same level. And this is not our first business, right? This is like our third, fourth business usually. So don't be scared to try different things. I think it's very rare someone comes up with the perfect product idea, the perfect pricing, the perfect marketing, the perfect positioning. I think this stuff takes way more skill than people realize, right? I think the days of like just throwing together a course and like emailing it a couple times and people just throw money at you are like long gone. And I don't think I think the market is going to get more sophisticated. It's going to require more skill. And I think that's a good thing, right? I'm like, these are all skills you guys can learn. They're very profitable. They're going to continue to be very profitable. Knowing how to market. I'm like, we live in capitalism. Like knowing how to market and sell things, like that's a pretty good skill set to have. It's like you can start all kinds of different businesses if you understand that.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. So where should we start when looking for product ideas?
I love to start by just helping people for free. So what I always tell people to do is I'm like, coach, like figure out the problem that people with money want to pay to fix. Figure out what you think that is, and then offer to help people with it for free. So I would offer free coaching, free consults. I would really try to get on Zoom with people. I think it
Yes.
is a lot different to hear someone tell you their problem and what they're experiencing versus the typing and the surveys and stuff on the internet. I think that you can learn a lot by just helping people for free and trying to get them results and getting better and better and better at it, right? And they'll tell you what their problem is, right? And then
Mhm.
it's like once you talk to enough people, people will start telling you the same things over and over again. Like, it is amazing. I just did a call in my community, and it's like people are just like always blown away because they're like, everything people bring to the call like relates to me too, because we're all humans. Like, we have a lot of
Mhm.
similar experiences. We love to think we're like these unique snowflakes, where it's like, I'm special and like my thoughts and ideas. We always have this joke about like my suffering and my struggle is different than everybody. But we really all struggle with similar things. And so if you talk to enough people, you will start hearing the same things over and over. And eventually you'll get to a point where you're like, I already know what they're going to ask. Like, I already know what they're going to say. I don't even need to get on calls with them. And when you feel like that, that's a great place. You're in a great place to make a product. You'll probably know exactly what they need. Right. And so I think you can test different products and try different ideas you have. But my biggest piece of advice is like, get on. I know people are scared to do this, but get on Zoom with actual humans and just answer their questions and try and support them. And if you do that long enough, you will really stand out above other people in your industry. You will just have a level of insight about what people struggle with, how they speak about those problems, how to get them results, what to say to them. You will have a level of expertise that is hard to find in just about any industry and any niche, and it
Mhm.
will set you apart. And so that's always my biggest advice is like, talk to real human beings. Like, don't
Yes.
just
Yeah.
guess, like, just let them tell you what they want.
Mhm. And also not just that, but then you record these calls and then you've got copy.
Yeah, you can record them and you can get them transcribed. There's so much AI transcribing now. I'm like, every year the internet just gets better and better. I'm like, I mean, I've been online, like 7 years. I'm like always joking. I'm like I feel like a dinosaur because I'm like, things have changed so much.
Mhm.
But just being able to transcribe stuff is so easy now. You can just get all of it written out. You can look over all of that. You can pull pieces of it for your copy. You can write emails about it. Anytime I talk to anybody on any coaching call, I have a whole little database of like, what was their problem? How
Mhm.
did I coach them? What was the solution? And then when I need to write an email, I'll just write an email about one of those, or I'll make a
Mhm.
post about one of those. And it's like I have unlimited content because I'm talking to
Mhm.
clients all the time on Zoom.
I love it. Yeah. I know, that's really cool. And yeah, but also it helps you also with your brand messaging too, right? And then it helps you refine the way you show up and the way you talk to people and the way you serve them. And so it can help your business, like not only creating the product, but also in so many other areas of your business. And it just
Yeah.
makes you more of an expert in your area of whatever it is that you want to teach.
Yeah. And I just encourage people, not to hide. I did this when I started my business, where it was like, I told my first business coach I would never be on camera ever, which if you follow me at all, we can like all laugh about now because there's hundreds and hundreds of hours of live video of me on the internet now. I'm just like always doing Facebook Live, always on Zoom with clients, always doing events, always speaking at things, but when I started, I was so scared. I was like, I didn't feel like I was good enough to be on camera. I didn't feel like it would ever be for me. I was like, I'm an introvert. I'm not going to be on camera. I'm going to have my anonymous blog and like hide over here. And there's no way I'm ever going to be on camera, not just live, but for anything. I was like, I will never be on camera ever, period. Like the end. And I was really committed to like dying on that hill. But it's so funny how things work out, because as I started like really looking at my community and thinking, how can I get them results? How can I help them? It's like I just started being on camera more and more because it was very apparent to me I could help them more if I were willing to talk to them. And if I got good
Mhm.
at teaching and I got good at teaching on camera, And that the ideas, hearing them from me, was not the same as just reading them typed up. Like there was a different level of intimacy, but just power and effectiveness I was able to get to as a teacher and a leader by being willing to be on camera. And I'll tell you guys, you can do it. You just have to be willing to, I'm like, you just have to be willing to be uncomfortable. But if you're willing to just partner with anxiety and all the barfy feelings, and you're like, I'm just willing to be anxious, I'm just willing to feel all these terrible feelings. And I know it sucks. I'm not saying it's like fun, right? But if you're just willing to do that, I just knew everything I wanted was on the other side of that discomfort. And I was like, I'm willing to feel any amount of discomfort in my body for as long as it takes to have the life that I want. And I'll tell you guys, it was so worth it, because my life I have now is like amazing. And so most of the things that we want to do, I think, require that. It's like, you don't get to be over here and be unwilling to be on camera, right? And I just saw that for myself and went for it. So I would just encourage anybody that's scared, like, get your butt on camera. Just be anxious. You didn't even tell people you're anxious. People are very compassionate and forgiving.
I find that's like an icebreaker. If you're like, oh my God,
you're
like,
just like,
what
I'm on camera,
is it that I did the other day? I did a webinar, and it wasn't the first time I did a webinar, but it was the first time I used a webinar software. And I was all nervous. And I was like, I got on the webinar and I'm like, I was so nervous because I was using for the first time an actual webinar software. And I wanted to make sure that it was going to work and not break down in middle of my presentation. But I'm after that, it was like smooth sailing.
I think having moments of humanity as a leader is like really powerful. Right. Because it's like, I could come on here and be like, I'm a multiple six-figure, like fancy business lady. And like, and I just think people are tired of it. Right?
Yeah.
It's just like, who cares? Like, you guys really care about that? Like, I just feel like it's so
I know.
fake, and like everybody kind of sees through it, right? And it's like, at the end of the day, it's like we all are having human experiences where we're scared or we're nervous, or those are very human experiences that every person in your audience can relate to. So when you're like, I'm anxious, every single person has experienced anxiety. Like, everyone knows what that is. It's like a very human experience. So it's like, why are we going to go on camera and act like, oh, I'm a fancy business coach, like I'm not ever scared about anything, or nothing's ever wrong in my business? It's like, that's very unrelatable. No one in your audience is having that experience. They're having human experiences where they're scared and they're anxious.
Exactly. But I don't believe you that you're an introvert.
I am so introverted.
What? No.
Yeah,
I want to see your results.
I'm such a little introverted weirdo. No, I am. I'm like big time introvert. I love talking to people, but and I love helping people. But when I'm not on camera, I'm like reading books and petting my dog and like being left alone. I barely leave my house.
But okay, so I'm an extrovert, and also I barely leave my house. I love being home. I don't like leaving. So I think that there's a little bit of introvert in me. I don't know, maybe I'm a combo. I have no idea if it's a thing, but I'm sticking to it. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Okay, so what do you think makes a product easier or more difficult to sell?
Well, I think, like I said, I think the main thing is like, how good are you at selling it, right? So here's a big thing I see people do a lot is they have this kind of belief. I think it's a thought error. It's like this thought error that's like, if I find the right product, people will just buy it. Right? And
or so build it and they will come.
Or I'll price it.
Said that,
if I get the
right?
pricing right, people will buy it. I see this with people that underprice their products. They like don't want to have to get in front of people and sell and market. So they're like, well, I'll just sell it. I'll just sell my $1,000 course for $50, and people are just going to want it because it's so good and it's such a good deal. But they don't know how to communicate. This is why it's a good deal, and this is why it's actually worth $1,000, and this is why you should buy it. It still takes just as much communication and articulation to sell a $50 thing as a $1,000 thing. But people will underprice their products, and then they like lean back on their underpricing, thinking the underprice will sell it. Right? Or they think like, if I get the right product, I won't have to sell as hard. I won't have to practice. I won't have to like put myself in the line of discomfort of doing a launch and pitching it. People will just buy it. And so they keep trying to find a different product, trying to find a different product, trying a different price point, trying a different price point. And what I always tell my mastermind is, I'm just like, look, like you can change your product if you want, but you only change it assuming it's going to be 10 times more annoying than you think. It's going to be 10 times harder to sell. It's going to be 10 times more work. It's going to be 10 times more difficult. Like, you never make a decision thinking, oh, this is going to be easier. You make a decision because you're like, this is what I really want to do. And I think it's best for my people. And I think it's best for my business. And even though it's going to be 10 times as much work, I still want to do it. Because when we make decisions from that place, then when you do a launch and you don't make the sales you want your first time out, you're like, yeah, I knew it was going to be really hard. Like, I signed up for it, versus like, oh my God, I need to sell something different. And that's what I see people do all the time, is like, they'll try something for a little bit and it doesn't sell. And then they're like, this isn't going to work. I'm going to sell this. And then it's like, that doesn't work either. And then they're like, well, I'll sell this, or I'll change the price, or I'll do this. And it's like, you need to pick a product, and you need to, I'm always like, it's like getting married. I'm like, you pick something and you decide you're going to like it for a long time.
I love that. I love that because, but you're so right. Like, sometimes we like try to sell something and, oh, it doesn't work. So we ditch it. When really,
yeah, but everybody listen to me. Listen to what I'm saying to you. When that happens, I want you to like hear my voice in your brain. Your brain is going to go, it's because they don't want the product. We need to sell something different. There's going to be something that's easier to sell. And I want you to take your brain and go, nobody bought it because we didn't practice marketing enough. So it's like, if somebody is buying your thing, something in your marketing is off. Right? Because if you're good enough at sales and marketing, you can sell anything. Right? And so I do think there are products that are easier to sell. Right? So I do think there are things people like to spend money on. The classic ones they teach you in any marketing is like health, wealth, relationships. Like, make your offer related to one of those. Like, think about, what do people already spend money on? Like, find evidence in the market. There's lots of people selling stuff. Is there evidence in the market that people want to spend money on that result? Right? But once you have that, there is a level of like, I am going to learn how to sell this, and I'm going to be committed to this offer, and I am not going to change it. I'm not going to change the price. I'm going to learn to sell this offer at this price, and I'm going to practice marketing it and practice launching it and test a whole bunch of different things until I am good at sales. And then you'll be able to take all of those sales skills you have and apply it to any offer. But if you keep changing your offer all the time, you're never going to get the sales skills to sell anything. You're just going to be running around all the time. And this is where people get burnt out, right? Because it's like,
not just that, it confuses people then also, and then you lose followers, and then it also makes business not fun and more complicated.
I think it takes at least a year to get an offer off the ground. So even for me, with an established business, with a reputation in this industry, with a bigger-ish email list, right? I'm not like huge or anything, but like I've got people around me now that know who I am and what I do. But even with all of that, if I were going to launch a new offer, I would give us at least a year to be making a substantial amount of money off of that offer, because I know it's going to take me a while to get the marketing right, to get the pitch right, to figure out exactly how to get people to buy it, how to launch it, how to position it. I would not just assume that I'm going to take an offer and just right out the gate, it's going to like go like gangbusters. I think an offer takes a long time to build a reputation of like, this is an offer that gets results, that people have heard of, that they know about, that they've seen you launch. And then the other thing that we see in my community more and more, and something I think that's changing online, is people lurk around for a long time before they buy. So it used to be people were just impulse shopping all these online courses all the time, but people are not impulse shopping online courses like that anymore. They're going through your launch 2 or 3 times, we're seeing now, before they buy, right? And so a lot of times I'm like, whenever I'm launching, I'm like, I'm not selling for this launch. I'm selling for the next one. The people that are buying at that one that you guys see me, when we open doors and people buy, that's because they went through the last couple launches, right? And so to me, it's like, I need to like take them through a few different things. I need them to see the offer a bunch. I need to build a reputation for the offer. And I really would probably give myself like a year to do all that as an experienced business person. So then it's like, as a new entrepreneur, I think the expectations people have are often way off because of what they've been sold, which is like get rich quick, $10,000 months, all that stuff. And I'm like, yeah, there are people making lots of money. You can make a lot of money. You should get in the game, like for sure. Like I believe in all of that. and it's going to be way harder than you think. It takes way more skill. It takes way more skill than you realize. It's going to be way harder than you think, and you should do it anyway. Like, that's where I like to get people.
Yes, you
like,
should do it
this is worth
anyway.
doing. It's still worth doing. But don't
Thank
get in the
you.
game thinking it's going to rain money on you like your first time out the gate.
But I
I'm like,
love
y'all
that
gotta pay your
because
dues.
you make it real. Like you said, you're a straight shooter. So I love it because you're making it real, and it's not going to be rainbows and sunshines the whole way. And having like, you have realistic goals and realistic expectations of the work that is involved in putting together a product or a course or whatever the case might be.
People build sustainable businesses,
yes,
right? I think about like, I want people to be making 6 figures for their lifetime, like for like a business,
not just for 1 month,
forever. And a lot of times too, like, not to be jaded, but I've been in this space for a minute and I know you have too, but a lot of these income reports you guys see, like someone even saying they make 6 figures, a lot of times those are just their sales numbers. Those aren't even their profit numbers. So just because someone says they did 6 figures in sales, you do not know that they didn't spend $200,000 on ads, because they're just telling you their sales are even not their expenses.
But it's true. But it's true.
A lot of these numbers you guys are comparing yourself to aren't even real. So it's like, we've all got to let this go. And then I'll
teach you how to make 6 figures, but like, it's going to cost you $50,000 and whatever.
It's like, let's all be realistic about what we're doing. And like, I just think you'll be in such a better place if you can get your brain on board with like, this is supposed to be hard and it's supposed to take a long time and I'm supposed to work hard at it. Versus what I see is like, people think that's a huge problem when their business isn't working or it's taking them a long time.
I know. And then the boogeyman starts talking shit.
And then it's like, that leaks your energy, right? Like we were talking about. And it's like, now instead of like thinking about how to market your product, how to position your product and doing all that hard work we need to do to get the business off the ground, we're spending all this time like just dabbling in drama of our own creation about like, they're making more money than me and why aren't I making this, and this is taking so long and it should be happening faster, and I spent all this time and I spent all this money, and it's just like not useful to you. It's like, can you
trust the process, enjoy the journey, right?
Yeah, I'm bored with like, this is just hard and it's going to take a long time. I think people have a lot less drama. Like, you don't sign up to go to medical school and then get 1 month in and be like, I thought I would be a doctor by now, and why don't I have clients, and why is this so hard, and I can't believe this is happening. And it's like, no, you sign up to go to medical school and you kind of know it's going to suck for a while. you're like, yeah, this is going to be hard, and I want to do it anyway to get the end result. And that's what I'm trying to get people with entrepreneurship is like, yeah, I know like getting someone to buy a product is going to be hard and it's going to take a long time, but I want to do that anyway because I want the outcome at the end. And that's where I'm really trying to get people. But it's hard because there's so much, razzle dazzle marketing.
I know. That's why, you know what I say? Turn all that stuff off. Unsubscribe from the email list you don't need to be on. And no, of course not. But you're just adding value to our business here. And then unfollow the people you don't need to be following on social media, because I can attest to this. And this happened to me, that I was following the emails and I was following the people on social media, and I got caught in that whole comparison game, and then I wasn't enough, and then it paralyzed me. I didn't do anything, and I certainly didn't show up authentically, and it put a big pause in my business for too long, that I like to admit, right? So don't do it.
Just stay in your lane.
Stay in your lane. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Lastly, and I think you've covered some of this already, but what are some mistakes people make when coming up with product ideas?
I think, the biggest one I see is like people product hopping, right? We do this. There's a couple different like hopping I see. It's changing the price all the time, or it's changing the product all the time, changing their niche all the time, or changing their launch strategy all the time. So I'm like, pick a launch strategy, just like be like, I'm going to do webinars. I'm just going to do them till I get them to work. Or I'm going to do challenges. I'm just going to do them to get them to work. I'm going to sell this product. It costs this much money. Right. And I think about like our business, I sell the same thing. So you guys will not see me launching a bajillion different things. I have one offer that we sell, that we have been selling for years. And that's at this point, all I sell is my one offer, my mastermind. And that's it. And it's like, I'm just going to sell. I don't spend any time having to think about what is the marketing? What is the result? What is the offer? It's like, I already know what the price is. I already know what the offer is. So I can spend so much more time helping the people that have already paid me, and then marketing and helping new people for free. I spend all my time doing that. I spend none of my time thinking about, should we change the price? Should it be this? Should it be that? How should we do the launch? Oh my gosh, should we do the cart on this day or that day? How many emails should I send? Should I send this? I don't spend any time doing that. I'm like, how do I help the people that have already paid me? And how do I get people in the community results for free ahead of time? I'm always like, I never expect people in my community to just take my word that I can help you. I'm like, you can come in the community and I'll show you. Like, I'll prove it to you. I'll do it right in front of your face, right? I'm like, you can come to one of our events. We do multiple events a year. And I'm like, I will help you for free ahead of time. And I spend all my time thinking about those events. Like, how am I going to get people those results? Like, that's not an easy thing to do at a free event, to get people real results. Like, anybody that's tried to get anybody a result online, I think, can relate to that. It's like, these are people that are not invested, that have not paid any money, that are signing up for a free thing. And it's like, I have to be good enough. Our messaging has to be good enough. The way the event is run has to be good enough to be able to get them an actual result before they ever buy from me. And that's on me. Like, that's where I take my brain and my marketing, right? And so I think just really spending time thinking about the things that matter versus looking for a magic offer that's going to be easy to sell, looking for the magic price that's going to be easy to sell. I would just assume all of it is going to be hard. So there's no magic thing that's like going to be easier. Like, memberships are not easier, courses are not easier, one-on-one is not easier. All of it takes a certain level of skill to be able to market. And if you don't have that skill, all of it will be hard. And when you do have the skill, it all will get a little easier, right? So spend time focusing on the real things that matter. And that's like, can you get people results? And are you good at communicating how you get them? And then just let the price and the offer be. Like, quit changing it. Make that decision one time. Spend all your time thinking about getting really good at getting results. And that will build your reputation. And when you have a great reputation, you don't have to spend as much time marketing, because people will send people to you.
It's true. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
Wow. So much good info. And I know we could have kept on going. I know,
I can
but
talk forever.
I know.
I have a podcast. If you guys want to hear me talk, I talk forever on the podcast all the time.
Exactly. So make sure you find Faith Mariah. Make sure you find Faith on the social media, because you're good at, sharing and serving your community. So, but you have an awesome freebie for us, Profit Explosion Bundle. Tell us about that.
Yeah, the Profit Explosion Bundle is awesome. You guys have to go get it. It has my 3-day live event that I did last year. It was one of our most popular live events. It's called Bosses Make Bank. And
I love it.
It's mindset and business strategy together. And it is like, I don't know. I'm just like, I hate saying this about my own stuff, but I'm like, this is like better than probably most of the things you guys have bought. Like, this is like we could have made this content into a course and sold it for a lot of money. And it has, like 6 hours of content in it. It is a beefy freebie. And so you get Bosses Make Bank live, the replays from that. We have an audience growth and profit tracker and a bunch of other little goodies in there with it to help you make more money and help you focus on the things that matter. And I teach in Bosses Make Bank Live, we teach a really simple goal setting strategy. If you're feeling like, I just set goals and I never hit them and my business isn't moving forward, you got to go watch Bosses Make Bank. It will give you a whole different way of setting goals and looking at your business. And it'll help you get back on track.
I love it. And if that wasn't enough, if you guys are listening to this and you bought your VIP pass, you get to go get 1 month trial in the Becoming Boss Mastermind. And don't worry, if you don't have your VIP pass, you can still grab it. But tell us about that, because that sounds amazing.
Yeah, this is a big deal. We just started offering some trials. We don't usually let people into my mastermind, obviously, for a month for free.
I know when I saw it, I was like, what? Like, this is incredible. Yeah,
it is incredible. So you guys have to come in and try it. We do live coaching calls multiple times a week. So I coach on Zoom every Tuesday. I will talk to you about your business, about your mindset stuff. And it's great because it's a group coaching program. So you'll see other entrepreneurs talking about stuff But if you've never started a business or you've never done this stuff before, a lot of times it's like, you don't even know the questions to ask. You don't even know what you don't know. You know what I mean? So being on the call and seeing other entrepreneurs, you might be like, oh my gosh, that's so true for me. And I wouldn't have even known to ask that. Like, I wouldn't have even been able to see that otherwise. And so we find that the insight on the group coaching calls is like one of the most valuable parts, but there's so much value in that offer. You get my mindset course, you get all of my business strategy. I have a whole program in there about making digital products, how to sell them, how to launch them. The mindset course, how to coach yourself. You get coaching calls with me. I have co-coaches in there. We have my wealth advisor is teaching in there, my business manager, our summit manager. I mean, really, really amazing co-coaches. You get live calls where you can go on Zoom and talk to these people. You just don't get this level of support at this price really anywhere in the industry. Like, this is a level of support I've paid to get in my business $20,000 or more for like a 6-month mastermind. And this mastermind is $1,000 for a whole year of coaching, support, community. We do challenges. Right now we're running a summit. They're all speaking in a summit. Like, it is just a really, really, really special offer. So if you're feeling like I need support and this is hard and like, I don't know what I'm doing, and you feel like you're floundering, come be with us, because I can help you. I've helped hundreds of people with this stuff. We have a program that works, that people love. That's why we're doing the trial now. Because it's like, at this point, like, I've been selling and working on this offer for so many years, where like, at this point, it's so damn good. We're like, people are going to get in there and get such amazing results that it makes sense for them to pay us, because they're just like, whoa, like, this is really helping me grow my business. So I'm like I'm always saying, like, you know, you don't even have to take my word for it. Like, I will prove it to you. I stand behind all my work, and we'll give you a trial. So yeah, I think you guys should take advantage of that. It's a 30-day trial, and you can cancel it. It's not going to hurt my feelings. This is one of the things people are like, I don't want to do it because if I have to cancel, I'm going to feel bad. I'm like, you don't have to feel bad. I gave it to Julie for the summit as like, you know, something nice for you to have, and like to do something good for your community, and come be with us. We will help you. And if you leave, that's great. And if you stay, that's great. It's not going to hurt. I won't even know. So it's not going to hurt my feelings.
That's amazing. But no, that's amazing. Thanks for including that. And I mean, just like one free month of this, which is, it's you sell it at $97. So we get that for free included in the VIP.
And we never do discounts or sales. So it's not like something that's like, oh, it's 97, but it's everybody in there pays $97 a month.
And and that alone is a no-brainer price.
Yeah.
Right?
Like, even if calls are amazing. We do like 4 or 5 live calls a week. So it's like, if you're having a day where you're just like, this is too much, like, I don't know what I'm doing, and you're having one of those days, we all have them as entrepreneurs, there will be a live call. Like, you're not going to have to wait that long. Like, you can come.
That's amazing.
We'll help you.
That's amazing.
Yeah. The community is amazing too. So if you don't have any business friends, I think it's hard when you don't have any entrepreneur friends too. So
we need business friends.
Family over there.
We need business friends. Okay. So, well, that's awesome. And so if you didn't have the VIP ticket before, you sure want it now. I know. I mean, I'm like,
how much is the ticket? Like, that's like worth more than the price of your ticket. So there you go.
I know. I'm like, can't wait to stop this call with Faith so that I can go run and get my months in the Becoming Boss Mastermind.
Gosh,
I love the name too.
Yeah.
Right. It's like sexy. I love it. Well, thank you so much, Faith. I know we could have kept talking all day because I think we vibe. And but thank you so much for having
me. I really appreciate it. And the event's great, and I'm just so excited to be a part of it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks for saying yes. And if you're listening to this, I will see you on the next training.